to see people and one of the first things out of their mouth is, "Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you for ages. I barely recognized you." And you think, "Oh, is that good? Is that bad? Like, what does that mean exactly?" And then you have the other side where they're like, "Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you since high school. You haven't changed a bit." Well, do you want that? Like, is that the right answer? Like, you're trying to figure out like which one is the bigger insult or which one's the bigger compliment. I haven't seen you forever. You look exactly the same, or I barely recognized you. Which do you want? Like, what's the answer? What's the response that you really want to hear? I am sitting down here in a very small town, no traffic lights, um, limited internet connection. So we'll hope this works. And I'm visiting my mom. And it's one of those things. We took a walk this morning, my mom, my daughter, and I. It was one of those, oh, it's a three-generation walk. And we walked a couple of miles and made it around the entire town. Like it's that, it's that small town. And I kept thinking to myself, wow, that house wasn't here before. Wow, that used to be farmland. And oh my goodness, like sweet little daughter, when I was your age. Oh yeah, I'm old enough to have back in my day, when I was your age, stories. And as I'm walking around and my mom's pointing out all the new things and oh, remember this and this and all these different things, and I keep thinking so much stays the same while somehow simultaneously everything changes. I mean, everything changes. So that's got to be true for you, right? Don't you think? I mean, what limited things I know about you and how I can see you showing up, I think, wow. And knowing what's gone on in the last year, my thought is that's a there's a lot of difference. There's a lot of change that's been happening. Um, I think that a lot of us expected more to change. And yet, if you were to compare yourself to the you of March of 2020, the you of April of 2020, I'm guessing there are some magnificent differences. It's spring, it's the first day of April, it's all those like the first part of quarter two, like here we are headed into it. It's a really great time to take an opportunity to figure out what still works, what isn't, and really, the biggest thing that you can tell if it's not working is if you can't recognize you from what you're putting out there. The you has grown so much. You have changed, you have evolved, you have grown. You are doing things differently, viewing things differently, speaking about things differently, right? I mean, chances are, I would dare say, even in the last 6 months, most of us have changed in some significant way. The problem comes when we forget to let our brand keep up with us, when we have changed, but our brand doesn't, when people haven't seen us in ages and we look exactly the same. Or either or and when they haven't seen us for ages and they barely recognize us. Why is that? Why don't they recognize you? The bottom line is you're still showing up the way you did 2 years ago. You're still showing up the way you did a year ago. And that was great. It's a magnificent way to show up. And yet it's not you anymore. There are so many opportunities right now for you to up level your brand, up level your persona. Allow it to catch up to you. You've taken courses. I mean, we've all spent 12 months. I've seen all the courses you're taking. I've seen all the offers out there. I've seen the way there are things out there being offered. So I'm certain you've taken advantage of some of them. Or at the very least, you have a year more experience under your belt. You have had to pivot until your head spin and until it made your head spin. And so certainly something is different. Certainly something has changed. And yet your brand doesn't show it. Why is that? Why do you suppose? Possible. Here's a couple of ideas for you. Possible because we didn't notice. That's the most likely, honestly, is we didn't realize that we had changed so much. When was the last time you reviewed a post from 6 months ago? A post from 3 months ago? Does it still sound like you? I mean, if assuming your persona was showing up then and was accurate then, it may have been a perfect fit then. But does it sound like you sound now? Does it feel like you want to be felt now? If I read a post from you, if I read an email, if I read a blog, a newsletter, whatever the content is, am I experiencing you the way you still want me to experience you? Are you being perceived the way you want to be? I'm seeing a lot of stuff out there that feels a little outdated, and not because it's old or because, wow, that's from the 1990s, but because it's not you anymore. And that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. So here's another thought for you. It might be because you don't know how. Like you can see your stuff and think, ah, that looks dated. It sounds dated because I will tell you right now, it doesn't matter what it looks like. If it feels like it's not you anymore, that's a disconnect. If it feels out of date, if it feels out of time, if it feels just inaccurate and kind of like it's lagging, that doesn't come across necessarily as well. They should update this. It feels old. It comes across as a disconnect. It comes across as that doesn't make sense. That doesn't feel right. So it's possible that you didn't notice because we've been busy surviving and thriving and doing all the things and pivoting. We didn't realize that our brand hadn't kept up. It's possible you don't know how to change it. It's possible that you can look at that and go, I know there's something off, but I'm not sure what it is. I will tell you with almost certainty it's your persona. Something isn't polished, something isn't quite clear, something is still hiding. There's lots of ways we hide. Sometimes it's because we say we're sorry all the time. So sorry for being loud, so sorry for going against the flow, so sorry for this and that and the other thing. But usually it's we really just don't know how to tap into that persona and make sure it comes out in a way that is completely in alignment with who we truly are. Most people don't know how to do that. So don't feel bad. There's no shame, no blame, no judgment at all. If you are one of those people where you're like, Amber, I can tell I need to fix something. I can tell something needs an update. I can tell something needs to change. I just can't tell what. It's okay. I got you. Right? I got you. We can totally do this together. It is along that vein, I must say, I must take just a moment to say, those of you who have not yet met me, my name is Amber Griffiths. I'm a brand strategist. I'm a maker of legends, like for real. And for those of you in my community who know me and who took the opportunity last week to claim your free copy of Brand Like You Are Meant for More, the daily guide to branding on the road to legend. Still so excited about that. Still so happy about that. I have to say a huge thank you. Huge thank you. Hundreds of people downloaded it. And it ended up number one in several categories. But I have to tell you what really excites me is watching those numbers climb and thinking, that's one more person that knows there is a way to brand like you are the more that you are meant to be. One more person gets this message in their face. One more person gets exposed to the idea that this could be their year. This could be the year that they are 100% themselves, 100% what they want to be. Like this could be that year for them. So every time somebody downloaded it, every time somebody shared, I think, oh, that's one more person who has changed. And then, know what you may not know, even though I don't know who downloaded it and who didn't, I watch some of those pages being read on the Kindle program, because you can tell if pages are actually being read versus it's just being downloaded. And the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages that were read over the weekend, I think, oh my goodness, they're doing it. They're tapping into their true self. They are tapping into what is possible. And that excites me so much. So now I have to ask you, for those of you who are on that path, like for reals on that path, who dived in and started doing the questions, are using that as a daily guide to be the more that you know you can be and brand like it. What have you done? That was last weekend. What are you changing? What are you updating? What gets to change? What was your big aha? What was your big, oh crap, Amber, I didn't know I had to do that too. I didn't know I could do that too. What's your big aha? What are you changing? It's April 1st. It's the first part of second quarter. You know you've changed. What is your next step? The next best right step for you to up level your brand, to up level the way you tap into your cash flow. Because my friend, that's what this is about, right? I mean, persona's fun, but persona is absolutely the key to your cash flow. Everyone is talking about it. You cannot get through any kind of marketing or entrepreneur or small